Hello and welcome to our review of Veronica Mars. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
Alrighty, so this week we are discussing the episode Versatile Toppings. This episode originally aired March 15th, 2006, so there's a bit of a break between the last episode and this one. So for video games, we're going to quickly kind of go through the big releases, but again, we're not going to go over everything because, good God, there was a lot of stuff released.
Yeah.
Okay, so just in February, I'm just going to kind of go through stuff quickly here. If you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Age of Empires, The Age of Kings.
Decent enough. A handheld Empires game.
Yes, I believe I played that one. Drakengard 2 on the PS2.
Yay. The Drakengard game that isn't a Drakengard game.
Okay. Grandia 3 on the PS2.
Yes. Only slight experience with this particular one. Though, interesting idea with its concept, the ridiculousness of anime tropes and whatnot squirming its way inside.
If you had a PC, you could pick up EverQuest 2, Kingdom of Sky.
Yes, though, again, not EverQuest knowledgeable and supposedly DLC for the whole things with it. Good for
Yeah,
them, though.
I think it's an expansion pack. If you had a PS2, Xbox, or GameCube, you could pick up Sonic Riders.
Because, give the fastest thing alive a skateboard, airboard sort of thing. Race them against other people. Make it fair.
Super Monkey Ball Touch and Roll on the NDS, Nintendo DS.
Yes.
Uh, okay, I'm going to mention this one just because it makes me happy. MX versus ATX on the Edge on the PSP.
Supposedly, yes, though I'm questioning this particular one exactly.
It was one of those like dirt bike like ATV racing games.
Okay, because there was a particular one that was like a whole bunch of different vehicles all racing at once, and this seems kind of the same thing, but I'm not too sure.
Dungeons and Dragons Online Stormreach if you had a PC.
Yes.
If
So
you had
again, only so much experience with Dungeons and Dragons with those things at the time.
if you had a PS2 or Xbox, you could pick up Black.
Again, the particular one I've always remembered seeing, but never touched it with a 10-foot pole.
Same here. Same here. If you had a PS2 or Xbox, you could also pick up Final Fight Streetwise.
Yeah, a marvelous time when particular franchises were trying to follow along with other particular things, but didn't do too well.
March 2nd, if you had a PC, you had two options. You could pick up The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth 2, or The Sims 2 Open for Business.
But you need to uh, branch out to the particular markets of people who like particular popular films and people who like The Sims.
March 6th, if you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Pokemon Trozai?
Rose.
Okay. It's some kind
It's
of
the
puzzle game.
marvelous beginning of the particular craze of those puzzle games. Not specifically Tetris, but kind of close to Tetris.
Okay. Also, on March 6th, if you had a Game Boy Advance, you could pick up this little game that nobody cares about called Tales of Fantasia.
The first Tales game, which is great and amazing.
Yes, and I'm probably going to get shot for saying nobody cares about it. That was a joke. Please
And
don't
it's one
murder
of the
me.
cases of it's one of the fantasy JRPGs that's kind of has its wheelhouse, but it's still its own specific wheelhouse. It hasn't quite built up the super popularity in comparison to that bloody Final Fantasy.
March 7th, if you had a Xbox 360, you could pick up Burnout Revenge.
Yes. So again, with this one, I'm not exactly sure if it was the. No, I think the other one focused more on cops, so not exactly sure with this one.
It's one of the Burnout games, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's to be expected.
March 7th, if you had a PSP, you could pick up Dragon Ball Z Shin Budokai.
Yes, the start of that particular series.
Uh, March 9th. Oh, no, sorry, March 8th, if you had a PS2, you could pick up uh, Onimusha Dawn of Dreams.
Yes. I'm not exactly sure which one this is. Oh no, sixth installment. Because again, Onimusha, it is a thing.
March 9th, if you had a Xbox or an Xbox 360, you could pick up Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Advanced War Fighter.
Because you need more words to make it a mouthful of a title.
Yes, that is a terrible title. March 14th, if you had a PS2 or Xbox, you could pick up Driver Parallel Lines.
Supposed yay? Like, again, seems a little bit like the last game you were talking about that just seems to be from a different company.
March 14th, if you had a PSP, you could pick up Mega Man Powered Up, which I'm assuming is just like a port of some of the other Mega Man games.
A bit like that and its particular art stylings for all the particular stuff. Just, oh god, Mega Man v Chibi.
March 14th, if you had a PS2, you could pick up Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence.
And or, eh, as says the thing, but shows up a different game entirely with the link description. Hmm.
I think Subsistence is like a re release of Snake Eater, but with like a couple of things added back in.
Oh, okay. One of those particular sorts of things to it. But nevertheless, with it being Snake Eater 3, still in a dream, the Snake Eater. Also ridiculously long letters.
And we're getting a remake of Snake Eater.
Yeah, very fancy. But also the marvelous case of I'm okay with just the Snake Eater that I've had and supposedly going back to it with making it as far as I did the last time. Bloody boss.
Yes, and it comes out in August, so it's not even that far away. Anyway,
Hmm.
moving on. March 14th, if you had a PSP, you could pick up Neopet's Pet Adventures The Wand of Wishing.
Yeah, because Neopets was still a thing.
I can't believe that it was still a thing in 2006. I feel like it
Yeah,
fell off in like '03.
then again with that, but as it was, that kind of had its little bit of controversies, but then kind of came back with a couple particular things, but then finally fell off the face of the earth as it is.
March 14th, if you had a PSP, you could also pick up Siphon Filter Dark Mirror.
Supposed yay, recognize the covering, but again, name I've never touched.
Ah, yes, it's part of obviously the Siphon Filter series, which was like one of Sony's early like special ops kind of games.
Hmm.
And finally, March 15th, if you had a PC, you could pick up Battlefield 2 Euroforce, an expansion for Battlefield 2, obviously.
Supposed yay for people who enjoy the battlefields.
Yes. Number one song in America this weekend, Dave. Any idea?
Again, heading into March with that.
Middle of March, we've got. I would call him like an R&B singer kind of thing,
Hmm.
with some hip hop as well. I'm gonna
You
see.
know, with how intertwined all those particular genres of music can marvelously be.
I did not know he did 9 albums.
Uh, yeah, again, with just around the time, nothing immediately coming to mind or jumping out that I could immediately think of.
Okay, it's a song called "So Sick" by, and I'm probably gonna mispronounce this. Neo. It's Neo.
Yeah.
I like.
Again, again, the title of the song seems to ring a bell, but nothing lyrically wise is coming to me. But even then, it's just the case of it's there, but nothing matches, and it's just like, Braid, what are you doing?
I vaguely remember this person, like looking at like the picture and stuff, but I'm like, I thought you fell off way earlier than you did, apparently.
Hmm.
Because I'm like,
Supposedly good for him.
yeah, I'm like, oh, those first three albums, those look familiar, and then everything after that, I was like, no idea.
Hmm.
And finally, a couple of films that we have to talk about quickly. The week of February 19th, the number one film was Eight Below, which is not too great Disney family survival film. The
Yeah.
2 weeks following that was Medea's Family Reunion, which I've never seen because the Medea films just don't interest me.
Hmm.
The week of March 12th was Failure to Launch. And finally, what was the number one film in America the week we are discussing, Dave? It's a film I know you've seen, and also, it's a comic book movie.
Hmm.
Although, I don't know how many people actually know it's a comic book movie.
Hmm. Uh, what's that? Hmm.
You definitely know this one, Dave. Us and our friends quoted this movie endlessly in high school.
No, it's understandable. Like, the line is supposedly going on in my head, but I can't specifically repeat it. Aside from never forgetting about it, but uh, come on, break the V for Vendetta, I believe it
Correct.
is.
It is V for Vendetta. A very good film. Well, I mean, the comic's better, but the film is actually surprisingly a pretty good adaptation.
Yeah, especially with everyone that they managed to get into it and how they tried to keep with most of the particular things. Again, my knowledge is mostly more so within the film, with only the sparse bits of knowledge from the comic.
I highly recommend reading the comic. It's very good. Um, the movie, the movie does a pretty good job of adapting it into like a 2 hour movie.
Hmm.
But it's one of those things where it's a 10 issue comic series that they're turning into a 2 hour movie, and it kind of is like, well, you kind of cut some important stuff out too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty, let's move back to the episode. Alrighty. So, while on his way to deliver a pizza boy gets stunned by a taser. Logan and
Oh
Hannah's...
no, the pizza guy.
Yes, the pizza guy got zapped. Logan and Hannah's relationship develops, and she invites him to watch a movie at her house. Keith talks to Terrence about his case, and he says that he doesn't remember what he was doing at the time of the bus crash. Madison St. Clair publicly makes fun of Marlena for being a lesbian. Ryan pulls Veronica aside and tells her that he is one of the pizza boys who got mugged. He admits that he had a list of students who belonged to an LGBT chat room in his wallet, and the mugger is using that list to blackmail gay students and out them if they do not pay $5,000. Veronica talks to Ryan and another mugging victim, and their stories match up. The other victim says that he was headed to a classmate's house. Logan and Dick hang out to the exclusion of Hannah. Another girl, Kylie, asks Veronica for help with the blackmailing. Veronica learns that Keith is representing Terrence. Terrence reveals that he was probably at the casino at the time of the bus crash. However, obtaining the security footage will be difficult because the casino's owner has a bit of an issue with Terrence because he owes him a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Family problems.
hosting Neptune's high student news show, Kylie comes out to the whole school. Veronica talks to Carmen, asking why the pizza mugger used her name. Carmen theorizes that it's because she and some of the other students listed are coconuts, or Hispanic people who date white people. Veronica interrogates Kelly Cuzio, a star baseball player who claims the pizza boy mugger tased him and stole the rims off his car, and that would be fucking impressive. When Veronica questions his story, he drives away from her. Logan and Hannah have their date, and her father, Tom Griffith, tells him to get out. Logan retorts by saying that he knows his testimony about the murder case is false. Keith talks to casino owner Leonard Lebo, who eventually agrees to let Keith see the security tapes. After Logan leaves, Mr. Griffith has a talk with Hannah, presumably about Logan. Veronica waits at the pizza restaurant for the whole night. Keith gets surveillance tapes that show Terrence was in the casino. He also learns that calls are blocked from inside the casino, proving that Terrence is innocent. Veronica and the pizza boy, Corny, catch a perpetrator, Arturo, who confesses to mugging pizza boys but is not connected with the blackmailing. Veronica gets Mac to help her get a hard copy of the gay chat room at Neptune High. Veronica tells Ryan that she thinks the blackmailer is a person in the chat room, but Ryan tells her the user she suspects died in a bus crash, or in the bus crash, I should say. Hannah tells Logan that she knows about the Felix Toombs case, and Logan tells her about her father's connection to the Fitzpatricks. Terrence tells Keith that his reputation would be damaged if it was found out that he was in a meeting with the casino owner. Veronica confronts Kelly, who confirms he wasn't mugged and sold his rims to raise money to pay the blackmailer. Hannah checks her father's messages and belongings, and they match up with what Logan was saying about her father's cocaine addiction and connection with the Fitzpatricks. After using a tracking device, Veronica finds that Kylie was behind the blackmailing, as she wanted to come out, but Marlena was refusing. Hannah reconciles with Logan. Jackie drives Veronica to a baseball game in a car they borrow from Terrence without asking. Keith and Terrence talk to Sheriff Lamb and eventually attempt to blackmail him with a tape of Lamb blackmailing Terrence. However, he doesn't give in to them. When returning Terrence's car, Jackie and Veronica find explosives and detonators in his garage, and Veronica tells Keith about it. All right. So what do we think of this episode, Dave?
Oh, boy. Again, I suppose the first important thing, oh god, those poor pizza guys. They're only doing their job. Why do you have to go after them?
Yeah, who hates who hates pizza delivery people? Like, they're
They
literally...
have it hard enough as it is already.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
But again, with just all the particular things. And I suppose it's also interesting with the idea of the character first being introduced from the last episode. Terrence, I believe the name, or...
Yes, Terrence. He's the one that Keith is helping out.
Yeah. And again, from this episode and a little bit from the last episode, just the camaraderie that comes from between the two of them, of Keith following his career for when he worked on stuff and other particular sort of things from there. There's that bit of bonding that's sort of building up from it, but then just all the information that's being found out, the casino on their case, Officer Lamb not cooperating or seeing particular facts or sticking to his guns and other bits from there. But then the big thing of all those bloody explosives that Veronica finds, just the case of, this is not helping the case of this and that.
Yes. Okay. So some things happen in this episode. There's a couple of references that are pretty fun. So there's a couple of pretty obvious ones. They reference O.J. Simpson a few times. Veronica says that her and Jackie aren't exactly the sisterhood of the traveling pants. Arturo calls Corny Shaggy, which I was like, hey, cool. There is one that I don't know if people would get anymore. So the blackmailer uses the alias Rick Santorum. Do you know who that is?
Not specifically, but the thing that's coming close to my mind is some supposed wrestler, but that could just be my hints of things that you've mentioned to me and getting a name mixed up with a particular person.
No, he was a... So he was a United States Senator who was, a real fuckwit. Like, very regressive and just, didn't like gay people and all that kind of shit. So the reason this is particularly funny is, I take it you were not a big fan of The Daily Show.
It was there, but it wasn't anything that I specifically kept track of. But yeah, definitely with the jokes and whatnot that they worked with and had available to them with things going on at the time. Yeah, they had a lot of material to go with. But
Yes.
then again, it's a case of something that I might need to go back to see how things either hold up or how well it's aged.
Let's just say that I believe the term was originally coined by somebody else, but The Daily Show and the Colbert Report really pushed a particular definition of Santorum on Urban Dictionary that is very funny, that I will not repeat because it will definitely get us demonetized if we ever get monetized.
Yeah.
It's very funny, though. Anyway, let us talk about the important things that happen in this episode. So, Logan tells Dr. Griffith that he wants Logan to stay away from Hannah, and Logan intimates that in order to do that, he would have to drop his testimony.
Yes.
Hannah's father tells her about what he saw Logan doing on the bridge. Logan tells her that her father is a cokehead.
Yeah.
And tells her to look around the house, and she finds Coke in the bathroom and a number of calls from the Fitzpatricks and the River Styx, which is their bar. Keith finds out that Terrence Cook was at the Seven Rivers Casino at the time of the bus crash and couldn't have used his cell phone. So that seems to tell us that he is not the murderer, but we don't know for sure because maybe he had an accomplice or something.
Yeah, in those sorts of cases.
Keith brings this information to Sheriff Lamb and tries to browbeat him into letting Terrence off the hook, but Lamb just kind of doesn't do it. He refuses. At the end of the episode, Veronica finds the explosives and detonators in the hangar Terrence uses to store his cars, which is definitely not a good look for him.
Yeah. They can't exactly say that they're for fireworks thing on the 4th of July.
No, not exactly, no. So, if there's nothing else about this episode, next week we'll be discussing an episode called The Quick and the Wed. In this episode, Veronica is going to take on the case of a missing bride-to-be. Meanwhile, Logan breaks up with Hannah so that her father, Tom, will drop his testimony in the murder trial. Yes, it is going to be an interesting episode. So, if there's nothing else, I've been Paul.
I've been Dave.